In this video, I'm going to sculpt another epic monster with monster clay inspired by The Last of Us, but there's just one problem. I'm all out of monster clay, but I have 20 tubs of monster clay right here looking at me.
Oh yeah, I hate the fact that I never finished the back of him.
Oh, Gromash, this is heartbreaking. This is hard. But unfortunately, our time together has come to an end. This might seem thematically quite dark, but realistically, I need the clay and the skull. So for those of you who watched the video, you might remember I built him using an actual skeleton, and it's really useful to sculpt around anatomy. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I cut myself.
Tiny, teeny tiny. It's fine. I'll be all right. Now with Gromash dealt with, it's time to get ready for my next creation. We start with a sculpture where we always begin, the armature. And in this case, I'm going to build one from scratch that's built to last. I was going to fish the skull out from inside Gromash's head. I can't do it. I can't bring myself to it. I just need the clay. I've got the clay there. I can take any little bit of clay I want for any project and use it. But I need a skull! I bought this for Halloween like 2 years ago. It's not as good as the skull we had for Gromash. I just need the basics though, but it's even better in one really interesting way. That I can use. That means we can immortalize Gromash and not sacrifice our zombie project. Let's do it! All right, I think we found a happy compromise. Gromash lives on. He's much more manageable in terms of the space he takes up, and I have monster clay. You clicked on this video for a zombie. We're this far in and I haven't done any, so let's make a freaking zombie, and it's gonna be a zombie with special effects. I have got my armature in place. He is solid. I love that. How cool is it? So I've got to protect this, because while I do have a button down here, beep, beep, I want to be able to just switch it off and leave it. So I'm just gonna blue tack a ping pong ball, and I'll gouge it out later. We've got access to where, wait, I've got to turn it off before I bury it forever. Also got to try and figure out where the eyes will be open, what their shape will be. But now it's finally time to add clay. And to add clay, we're gonna get clay. Oh, monster clay, how I missed you. Look at this. I just love how it moves from a state between full-on liquid to proper solid. There's something so satisfying about this. Oh, there's a butt. A butt? A poop. Not a butt, just a poop. I meant to poop. Either way, it's immature. And there it is, my Last of Us zombie. I am so happy with how this turned out. But hey, it's time for epic reveals. Thanks for watching. Make sure to smash that like button. You know I'm bloody joking, but it's funny how like it was nothing a second ago. All of a sudden this is gonna turn into something. But we're gonna come back tomorrow and really sink our teeth into it. Now, aside from looking cool and having my little glowing red eye special effects, the reason I really like sculpting a face around a skull is it just takes all the guesswork out. I know exactly where the eyes are. I've got a, obvious set of proportions to build off of, so I don't have to spend any time sort of figuring out where things go. I just put them there. So now it's just a matter of building up all of the material around our sculpture. I start off from the lower end because that's usually where I end up. And in this instance, the proportions are a little bit tricky because I didn't particularly pose the poles that the skull is on. So the head is a little further back on the neck and torso than I would have liked. And to be honest, I probably built up the torso a little bit too much. So my early stages of laying on the clay are just to try and figure out and lay out the proportions in a way that works with the foundation I've laid. With the entirety of the model fully covered in clay, it's when I start to chunk out the anatomy that it becomes really satisfying. Putting in the ears, building out the eyebrows and putting in the nose in particular really start to make a character out of this. And slowly but surely, as I add little sections of muscle or smooth out or build up sections of the skin or the face, I can really start to see this sculpture coming together. And my God, it is satisfying. I have missed this. This is, I'm gonna say, the first of 3 phases of the sculpture. The first phase complete is when you've sort of built up all the mass and it's kind of overfilled. Obviously, he's like, for a zombie, he's had a few recent meals, he's not decayed very much, but that's intentional because clay is an additive and reductive form of sculpture. I've added it all, now I can pull it away and add that gaunt look. So onto the second phase, which is kind of the perfect phase for a zombie. Slowly eating away at the flesh. It's time to get infected. This is by far my favorite bit. As much as I love the blocking in the early stage and the details in the late stage, it's the carving back. And it's also the reason I keep coming back to monster clay because it's so satisfying at this stage. When you work with it, after it's sort of mostly set, but it hasn't fully cured, it's kind of like sculpting a soft chocolate. It feels really satisfying. It's really easy to sort of manipulate and carve back, and it just starts looking good really quickly. Now, the mission so far has been to create a more believable shape of a human face. And as the proportions are starting to look a little more even and less cartoony, this is the point at which I can go through and start to add some definition. Nothing too crazy, but slowly but surely peeling back to reveal more of the intricacies of the anatomy, specifically around the nose, the cheeks, the ears, and lastly, the eyes. Every step of this process is just so satisfying. Carving the clay feels great, but also just slowly revealing the monster inside. Now, I didn't want to have to turn on the light every time I wanted to finesse the eyes, so I just used some yellow alcohol markers to rough in the position of the pupils so that with the light turned off, I know what the expression is going to look like as I shape the detail of the eyes around where he's facing. I am so glad that we had that cheap, crappy skeleton from Kmart lying around and a ping pong ball. Makes this possible. Now, in entering the third and final phase, detail, this is where we're gonna have fun. At the moment, we don't really have much of a zombie, we just have a dude. And to do that, I have a little trick or two up my sleeve. Now, I know this looks like I just turned around and exploded, but it's all part of the plan. But this is all just one type of fungus and they all might start to look a bit samey and splatty. So we're gonna try and get a couple of other textures happening. Now when I come back to these tomorrow, they'll all be fully set. So hopefully they'll be workable. I am now gonna try and get a texture for a shirt. And my theory is if I pour this, that I might be able to get a cloth-like material that I can use for the shirt. Oh, I should have sprayed it with stuff. Pour it back in. All right, take 2, and spray it with oil. All right, let's go. Still very hot. Still very, very hot. Dum, 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 dum. So I don't know if this is gonna be good or not, but I'm thinking of like just adding a few creases.
Yeah, I love the idea.
Because if it works, I think it'll look really good. All right, now I'm just gonna let them set and we'll come back tomorrow and see if they peel off. Tomorrow in about 1 second. Oh, poor Gromash. He was a cool artwork while he lasted, and every good artwork starts with a good foundation. Like an armature with a sculpture, your illustrations are always built on the backbone of awesome sketches, which is why this video is brought to you by JAZZA'S Pro Sketch Pack. My Pro Sketch Pack is everything you could ever possibly need to make incredible sketches, which is the backbone of making incredible art. And if learning to draw means drawing 1,000 times, you better hope that 1,000 times while you're sketching is fun, which is what my pack's all about. Awesome art supplies, awesome quality, awesome fun. Go check it out at prosketchpack.com, only available for a limited time, and of course, it's a huge support to the channel. All right, give that a couple more minutes and we'll keep going. Wait. Where's Gromash's? Hey Murray, did you move Gromash's head?
No, what?
Gromash's head, it was right here.
Gromash, you were better corrupted.
Now that it's all hardened and cured, let's see if it peels off. We're getting such good sounds in this video. Can I just say, you will think we made sound effects for when I ripped Gromash's head off. That was it. That was the foam cracking. That was exactly as my mic picked it up. Oh, amazing. Anyways, this to me is a pre-textured section of clay fabric. Look at that, it's even got some creases. It remains to be seen how this will look on the sculpture, but the idea is we've got clothing. I can shape this, sculpt it around my figure, and in theory, it'll add a really subtle sort of texture I wouldn't be able to sculpt. But here's the real question. Do I have shrooms? Do they layer to look like interesting? I think they might. Some of them look like they could be really cool, like longer tendrils like this, with a little bit of softening from a heat gun and wrapping over areas, I think will look really cool. I sort of wanted to be halfway to a clicker. So the clickers are the ones with the big bloomed heads that can't see, so they click, but guy's got the cool glowing eyes, so he sort of can see. I don't want to get rid of those. But you know, what if we're like just pre-clicker? What if he's starting to bloom a bit and we can start, I think we've just got a few chops in there. That just looks like he's been randomly chopped. Maybe we need to have him falling apart in a few places. Or even the way that sort of splits, that's kind of cool. I can bloom out from there, and let's split this up, huh? Let's have things be blooming out from this cut, so the cut's sort of like opening up, and I feel like I can have this start dangling. He's starting to fall apart. Now it's time to really bring him to life, and you know, fungus is a sort of life, I guess. This was really fun. I missed sculpting, and I haven't because Grubmash was there, rest his soul. But hey, we got a lot more clay to work with. So if you enjoyed this, please let me know and let me know what to sculpt, because I'm in a sculpty sort of mood now, and I got clay. And I am so happy with this. This turned out really great. Like I'm just really happy with it, especially considering the variety of textures and improvised methods. It feels right. I hope you're as happy with the results as I am, and if you have been, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more fun with art and creativity. Oh no, oh no! Ah! I'm just kidding, it's just clay. It's not gonna hurt me. It's gonna hurt you though.